Weeds and kitchen scraps are often seen as garden nuisances or waste to dispose of, but they actually hold tremendous potential as natural resources for nourishing your plants and improving soil health. Instead of throwing away unwanted plants or vegetable peelings, you can transform them into effective organic fertilizers that support sustainable gardening. This video explores 3 practical methods to recycle weeds and kitchen waste into valuable plant food. Simple techniques that anyone can do at home to create nutrient-rich fertilizers, boost plant growth, reduce waste, and save money. Whether you want to make compost, brew liquid fertilizers, or enhance your soil's microbial life, these easy tips will help you turn everyday garden and kitchen scraps into powerful tools for a thriving garden. Tip number 1, making use of weeds in your garden. Weeds are commonly viewed as unwanted plants growing where they don't belong, often competing with cultivated plants for nutrients, water, and space. However, despite their reputation, weeds have an important and beneficial side. Many weeds can be turned into free organic fertilizer to nourish your garden plants in a natural and sustainable way. Instead of merely removing and discarding weeds from your garden, you can recycle their nutrient-rich biomass back into the soil, helping to improve fertility, structure, and moisture retention. Let's start by exploring some simple, effective ways to utilize weeds as a resource in your garden. One of the easiest methods is the chop and drop technique. All you need to do is gather the weeds either by hand or with garden tools, ensuring you gather the whole plant, including roots where possible to maximize nutrient return. Next, chop or snip the weeds into smaller pieces. The goal of chopping is to speed up decomposition by increasing the surface area exposed to soil microbes. Spread these chopped weeds back onto the soil surface around your plants as a natural mulch. Because the plant material is chopped into smaller bits, it will break down more quickly, releasing nutrients into the soil much faster than whole weeds would. This method also helps suppress weed growth by covering the soil and maintaining moisture. There are a few important rules to follow with this technique. Do it on a dry day, so the weed pieces don't immediately take root again. Moist conditions may favor regrowth. Avoid chopping and dropping weeds that have ripe seeds. You don't want to spread viable seeds around and increase the weed problem. Do not incorporate roots of creeping or perennial weeds that can regrow from root fragments unless they are properly dried and dead. For those tricky roots and creeping plants, a great approach is to pull them out and lay the roots in direct sunlight to dry thoroughly. Within a few weeks, exposure to the sun's heat and dryness will kill these roots completely. Once dead, these roots can be composted safely or used in other mulches without risk of regrowth. Moving on, another common and practical way to use weeds is by adding them to your compost heap or compost bin. This is especially good for larger weed plants that may be harder to chop or spread directly as mulch. Green, fresh weeds are a fantastic source of nitrogen, a key nutrient in compost making, and are considered greens to balance. Browns, like dried leaves or straw. Again, caution is needed. Only add weeds that do not carry mature seeds to avoid unwanted sprouting in your compost pile. Avoid adding perennial weed roots unless your compost bin generates enough heat above 55, 60 degree or 130, 140 degrees to kill persistent weed roots. Properly managed compost can safely neutralize most weeds and seeds through sustained high temperatures. The most effective and powerful method of using weeds, in my opinion, is to turn them into homemade weed tea, a liquid fertilizer that stimulates plant growth. To prepare weed tea, first collect a variety of fresh green weeds and chop them into small pieces. Then stuff these chopped weeds firmly into a bucket until it's nearly full. Next, cover the weeds completely with rainwater. Tap water often contains chlorine, which can harm beneficial microbes. For an extra boost, you can add a handful of mature leaf mold or finished compost to the bucket. This introduces beneficial bacteria and microbes that improve the fermentation and nutrient release process. Cover the bucket loosely with a lid to allow carbon dioxide and other gases to escape as the mixture ferments. Let the weed tea steep for 1 to 2 weeks, stirring it occasionally to oxygenate the mixture and prevent anaerobic conditions. During this fermentation, microbes break down the plant material, releasing nutrients and producing natural growth stimulants. After the steeping period, the liquid should be strained and then diluted before use. A recommended dilution is 1 part weed tea to 10 parts water. Apply this diluted tea to the base of your garden plants by watering as usual. The nutrients penetrate into the soil where roots can absorb them effectively. Repeat this fertilizing process every 10 to 15 days during the growing season for continuous nourishment and healthier, more vigorous plants. If you have other creative ideas for using weeds beneficially, feel free to share them in the comments below. Also, check the video links in the description for recipes and detailed instructions on making your own sprays and nutrient-rich fertilizers. Tip number 2, homemade liquid fertilizer from kitchen scraps. Creating your own liquid fertilizer at home is simple, cost-effective, and incredibly beneficial for your plant's health and productivity. By using common kitchen scraps instead of buying commercial products, you produce a nutrient-rich solution that supports robust plant growth naturally. With minimal preparation time lasting only a few days, you can provide your plants with essential nutrients like potassium, phosphorus, calcium, magnesium, and sulfur, elements often lacking in poor soils but vital for healthy development. Regular use improves both your plants and the soil over time. To start, collect banana peels and onion peels in separate containers. Use containers with tight-fitting lids that can be closed securely. Once you've gathered a sufficient amount, fill each container with lukewarm water until the peels are fully submerged. Seal the lids tightly and let the containers sit at room temperature for several days. This soaking process allows many nutrients to leach from the peels into the water, creating a potent liquid fertilizer. After a few days, strain each container's liquid through a fine sieve or cheesecloth to remove solid bits of peel, then mix both liquids together into a single container. This combined liquid is your homemade fertilizer concentrate. When it's time to fertilize your plants, dilute this concentrate to a ratio of about 1 part fertilizer to 5 parts water. This dilution ensures the fertilizer is not too strong and won't harm delicate plants or roots. Apply this diluted fertilizer to your plants once a week, using it much like regular watering. Doing so will provide your plants with a steady supply of critical nutrients. Why banana and onion peels? Banana peels are especially rich in potassium, an essential nutrient that facilitates water and nutrient transport inside plants. Potassium helps strengthen plant stems, improves resistance to diseases, and supports the development of flowers and fruits. The phosphorus content in banana peels also encourages root growth and flowering, making them ideal for fruit-producing plants like tomatoes and peppers. Onion peels offer calcium, magnesium, and sulfur. Calcium is crucial for structural cell wall integrity, helping plants grow strong and resist physical damage. Magnesium is a core component of chlorophyll, which plants use to capture sunlight and create food via photosynthesis. Without sufficient magnesium, leaves turn yellow and the plant becomes weak. Sulfur is necessary for protein synthesis and enzyme activity, essential processes for plant growth. Using this fertilizer consistently also improves soil health by increasing organic matter content. Over time, your soil's capacity to hold water and nutrients improves, which benefits all plants growing there and increases their yield. Remember, the key to success here is consistency. By providing a regular weekly feed, you ensure that your plants never run short of nutrients, promoting continuous growth, flowering, and fruiting. Turning kitchen waste into plant food this way reduces waste, saves money, and helps keep your garden flourishing naturally. For detailed step-by-step recipes and tips, check out the video links in the description. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and explore other gardening videos for more useful advice. Tip number 3. Fermented kitchen scraps. Fertilizer. Another fantastic way to turn kitchen waste into a valuable fertilizer is by making a fermented liquid fertilizer using scraps like vegetable peels, onion skins, and banana peels. This process not only recycles waste, but produces a highly nutrient-dense and microbe-rich solution that promotes healthy plant growth. You don't need any special tools other than a blender, some water, and containers you already have. Start by collecting your kitchen scraps, including vegetable peelings, onion skins, and fruits you don't use. Once you have enough, place all the scraps into a blender and add a little water to help the blades work efficiently. Blend the mixture until it forms a thick liquid or slurry resembling juice. This blended liquid forms the base of your fertilizer. Next, pour this juice into a container, but leave it partially uncovered or with a loosely fitting lid. This allows oxygen in, which is critical for the fermentation process where beneficial microbes multiply. Place the container somewhere shaded, avoiding direct sunlight or extreme temperatures, and let it ferment undisturbed for at least 1 week. During this time, microbes naturally present on the scraps and in the environment begin to multiply. These microbes are essential. They break down waste further and produce growth stimulants that aid plants' nutrient uptake once applied. After a week, transfer the fermented liquid into a large bucket, about 5 gallons, filled with water to dilute it. To encourage the microbes to flourish even more, add a handful of brown sugar to this diluted mixture. Sugar acts as a food source for microbes, stimulating rapid multiplication. Stir thoroughly to dissolve the sugar evenly. Within a few hours, the microbial population will increase dramatically. In just about 4 hours, your bucket will be teeming with millions of beneficial bacteria and fungi that promote soil and plant health. Now the mixture is ready to use. Apply this liquid around the base of your plants. The thriving microbes help break down organic matter and soil nutrients, making them more available to your plants. This leads to faster, healthier growth with greener leaves and stronger stems. This natural fertilizer is completely safe for your garden and the environment. It replaces chemical fertilizers while turning kitchen waste into a highly effective resource for your plants. This method effectively reduces kitchen waste going to landfill, saving money and minimizing environmental impact. By routinely making this fermented fertilizer, you improve your garden's soil life and plant vitality. Each batch can be adjusted depending on what scraps you have available. The key steps remain blending thoroughly, fermenting for at least a week, and feeding microbes with sugar before use. This fertilizer works particularly well for vegetable gardens and other plants needing a nutrient boost throughout the growing season. With regular application, expect to see healthier plants, bigger yields, and more vibrant harvests. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed these gardening tips and want to learn more, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and explore our other gardening tutorials for more helpful advice.